The sun peeked gently over the rooftops of Portland, Maine, painting the sky in soft shades of gold and pink. It was early Sunday morning, and most of the city was still asleep. But for Lily and Lena, the 11-year-old twin sisters with matching freckles and ponytails, this was their favorite time of the week. Clad in identical blue hoodies and jeans, they quietly slipped out the front door with their loyal German shepherd, Shadow, trotting happily beside them. "Race you to the park." Lily grinned, nudging her sister. "You're on." Lena laughed, and they took off down the sidewalk, their laughter echoing through the quiet neighborhood. Their destination was Deering Oaks Park, a large, wooded area not far from their home. It was their usual walking route, safe, familiar, and peaceful. But today, that familiar path would lead them to something they could never have imagined. Something that would change everything. As they entered the shaded trails of Deering Oaks Park, the morning air felt crisp and fresh. Leaves crunched beneath their sneakers while birds chirped in the trees above. The twins giggled as Shadow sniffed around curiously, his leash held firmly in Lily's hand. But suddenly Shadow froze. His ears perked straight up, tail rigid. A low growl rumbled from his chest. "What's wrong, boy?" Lena asked, stopping beside him. Shadow pulled hard toward the right, off the main path, toward a thicket of brush beneath an old, white oak tree. His nose was low to the ground, sniffing rapidly. Then he started barking sharp, urgent barks that echoed through the quiet park. "Shadow, stop," Lily said, alarmed. But he wouldn't listen. The dog's behavior had shifted completely. His focus was intense, his body tense. The twins exchanged a nervous glance. Shadow had never acted like this before. Something was wrong, very wrong. Shadow lunged into the brush, barking louder now. Frantic, insistent. The twins followed, pushing past low branches and tall weeds until they stumbled into a small clearing behind the thick oak tree. Lena gasped. A man lay slumped against the base of the tree, blood on his shirt, handcuffs digging into his wrists. His police uniform was torn, soaked in dirt and blood. One of his legs was bent unnaturally, and a dark stain spread beneath him. "Oh my gosh," Lily whispered, frozen in place. "He's a cop." Shadow whined and pressed his head gently against the man's chest. The man stirred, his lips barely moving. Help." Lily dropped to her knees beside him. "Sir, we're going to get help, okay? Please hold on." Lena knelt beside her, tears brimming in her eyes. The man's breaths were shallow. He was fading fast. They had just found a dying officer, alone, and out of time. Lena pulled out her phone with trembling hands. "No signal," she said, panicked. "It's dead here." Lily looked around, heart pounding. "We can't leave him like this. He's bleeding too much." The officer's eyes fluttered open, barely focused. He tried to speak but only coughed, blood on his lips. Shadow whined louder and nudged Lily's arm, as if urging her to act. "I'll stay with him," Lily said firmly. "You go. Run back to the main road. Get help." Lena hesitated. "Are you sure?" "Yes. Just go." Shadow looked between the two girls, then sat protectively beside the officer, never taking his eyes off the trees. "Okay." Lena nodded, voice shaking. "I'll be fast." She turned and sprinted through the brush, leaves whipping past her face. Back in the clearing, Lily took the man's cold hand in hers. "Hold on," she whispered. "Help is coming. I promise." But deep down, she wasn't sure. Lily stayed low beside the officer, gripping his hand tightly. Shadow remained alert, his ears twitching at every sound. Then crack. A branch snapped somewhere behind them. Shadow growled deep in his throat. Lily turned toward the noise, heart racing. Two men appeared from the trees, both in dark hoodies, masks over their faces. They moved cautiously, eyes scanning the area. One of them whispered, "You sure he's still here?" "Yeah," the other muttered. "He couldn't have gone far. He was bleeding out." Lily's blood ran cold. She ducked lower behind the tree, holding her breath. Shadow didn't move, only growled softly, teeth barely showing. The men came closer. One kicked at the ground near the brush. "We need to finish this. Make sure he's dead." Lily clutched the officer's arm tighter. They weren't just strangers. They were here to kill him. And now, they weren't alone anymore. Lily crouched low, barely breathing. Shadow stayed pressed against her leg, silent but ready. The masked men moved through the brush, unaware they were just feet away. Then crackling footsteps in the distance. The men froze. "Someone's coming," one whispered. It was Lena. She returned, breathless, with a man on a bike trailing behind her. "I found someone," she shouted. "Call 911. The cyclist pulled out his phone, moving fast. The two men panicked, retreating into the trees. Lily stood up, waving her arms. "Over here. He's here." The man dismounted, dialing frantically. "Injured officer. Deering Oaks." "Yes, send an ambulance." Shadow barked once, loud and sharp. Lena rushed over, kneeling beside Lily. "Is he okay?" Lily shook her head. "Barely." Behind them, in the woods, one of the masked men lingered, watching. This wasn't over. Not yet. And the real danger was just beginning. The bushes rustled again, louder this time. One of the masked men stepped out, a pistol clenched in his hand. "No one moves," he hissed, eyes darting from the cyclist to the girls. "You shouldn't have come back." Shadow exploded forward, teeth bared. "Shadow, no!" Lily cried, but it was too late. The dog lunged, grabbing the man's arm with a vicious snap. The weapon clattered to the ground. The man screamed, trying to shake him off, but Shadow held firm. The cyclist moved to protect the girls, dragging them behind a tree. Sirens screamed in the distance. Closer now. The second man bolted from the trees, trying to run. Shadow released the first attacker and gave chase. He was fast. Too fast. A patrol car screeched to a halt at the park's edge. Officers poured out. One grabbed the man Shadow had tackled. "Got him." The other attacker? Gone. For now. Paramedics rushed to the officer, carefully lifting him onto a stretcher as Shadow circled protectively. One medic leaned over him. "Can you hear me, sir? Stay with us." The man's eyes fluttered open. He rasped, "Detective Harris." An officer turned sharply. "Wait, Detective Jake Harris? He's been missing for 2 days." Whispers broke out among the first responders. This wasn't just any cop. Harris had been deep undercover, investigating corruption within the department itself. He'd gotten too close to the truth, and someone had tried to silence him. Shadow sat down beside the stretcher, his eyes fixed on the man he'd just saved. "You're telling me these kids found him?" one officer asked, stunned. Lily and Lena nodded slowly. "He was hurt. We couldn't leave him." The officer looked at them with awe. "You girls, and that dog, just uncovered something big. This isn't over." And he was right. It was just beginning. Paramedics rushed to the officer, carefully lifting him onto a stretcher as Shadow circled protectively. One medic leaned over him. "Can you hear me, sir? Stay with us." The man's eyes fluttered open. He rasped, "Detective Harris." An officer turned sharply. "Wait, Detective Jake Harris? He's been missing for 2 days." Whispers broke out among the first responders. This wasn't just any cop. Harris had been deep undercover, investigating corruption within the department itself. He'd gotten too close to the truth, and someone had tried to silence him. Shadow sat down beside the stretcher, his eyes fixed on the man he'd just saved. "You're telling me these kids found him?" one officer asked, stunned. Lily and Lena nodded slowly. "He was hurt. We couldn't leave him." The officer looked at them with awe. "You girls, and that dog, just uncovered something big. This isn't over." And he was right. It was just beginning. The next day, the girls sat nervously in their living room. A knock came at the door. Their mom opened it to find the police captain, 2 officers, and a small news crew standing outside. "We'd like to recognize some young heroes today," the captain said with a proud smile. Lily and Lena stepped forward, cheeks flushed. He knelt down to their level, holding out 2 shiny medals. for bravery and quick thinking under pressure. Then he turned to Shadow, who wagged his tail, tongue out. And for you, buddy. Portland's first honorary K9 for the day. The room filled with claps and camera flashes. Later that evening, as the house grew quiet, Lena whispered, "I was really scared." Lily nodded. "Me too. But we couldn't walk away, right?" "No," Lena said softly. "We did what we had to." Shadow lay curled between them, watching the door, still protecting, just in case. Detective Harris survived. Thanks to the girl's bravery and Shadow's instincts, he recovered in the hospital over the next few weeks. The man who escaped that day was captured days later. And with Harris's testimony, 2 corrupt officers were arrested. The truth he risked his life for finally came to light. Lily and Lena's story spread far beyond Portland. National news covered it. Strangers mailed them thank you cards. And Shadow? He became a local celebrity. But to the girls, life slowly returned to normal. Sunday walks resumed. And every time they passed that old oak tree in Deering Oaks Park, they paused just for a moment. "One choice," Lily said one day, "can really change everything." Lena nodded. "I still can't believe we found him." Shadow stood between them, tail wagging, eyes bright. No one would ever know exactly what he sensed that day. But what he did saved a life.